Well, let's look exactly then at that Pennsylvania result, which has been coming into us, still not 100% confirmed, of course, but it does appear that the predictions are showing that John Fetterman has defeated the Republican candidate Mehmet Oz in Pennsylvania. Let's hear a little bit from him. He's been speaking.
I never expected that we were going to turn these red counties blue, but we did what we needed to do, and we had that conversation across every one of those counties. And tonight, that's why I'll be the next U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania.
John Fetterman there. Well, let's cross straight to Washington, talk to our correspondent Kethevane Gorjestani, who joins us from there. Kethevane, let's talk about this result, predicted result anyway, there in Pennsylvania. Does that swing things for you? I mean, what difference does it actually make?
Well, it is a huge win for the Democrats. This was really the race that they were hoping to flip, because this was, of course, a state that was a Senate seat that was controlled by the Republicans. And so the Democrats really focused on Pennsylvania as the Senate seat that they were more likely to be able to flip. And it looks like they have managed to do that. Now, that doesn't mean they're out of the woods just yet, because there are still a few races, Senate races, that are still too close to call. And in one of them, there is Democrats that could still potentially lose. And so that would sort of balance it out again, if you will. And that is why they were so focused on Pennsylvania, the Democrats, because this was sort of an insurance policy in case they lost a seat that they were controlling. And so now you're sort of looking again to Georgia, which is the other crucial race that we're looking at, because if things fall the way a lot of people expect them to fall, we're likely going to be looking at Georgia to see who actually takes control of the Senate if things go as predicted. And that means that we could even more possibly go into runoff in Georgia, meaning that this would push us back to December 6th to figure out which party will control the Senate. So a big win for the Democrats in Pennsylvania. They also won the gubernatorial race, and it's also a sign and a loss for Donald Trump, who had endorsed Mehmet Oz in the Senate race, as well as Doug Mastriano in the governor's race. And Doug Mastriano lost even by a bigger margin than Mehmet Oz looks to be losing. And so in Pennsylvania, at least, it seems that that Trump endorsement was more of a liability than actually an increase in potential in that state.
Kethevane, just before we came in here, I was reading a piece upstairs which was talking about the split, if you like, between male and female voters, particularly in Pennsylvania. It does appear that a lot of men were voting for Mehmet Oz, a lot of women were voting for John Fetterman, presumably over the abortion issue, which seems to have been key there.
Yes, and we're going to see, of course, in the coming days, the analysis of those exit polls of what voters are saying, why they chose to vote the way they voted. And you're going to see possibly that issue of abortion come back into the spotlight. And it might be interesting because when we were coming into this election day, in the past few weeks, basically the fall, it looked like maybe the Democrats had picked the wrong strategy by focusing so much on abortion over the summer after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. They had really focused on abortion. They felt that this is what they were going to be able to use to win. It looked like it was surging the Democrats over the summer. And then in the past 2 months, basically, you saw inflation, the economy overtaking abortion, even among independents and Democrats. And so the talk was here, Democrats might have missed the mark by focusing so much on abortion. it looks like it might actually still be true that abortion actually really helped the Democrats. One key result also is going to be to look at some of these ballots for or against the protection of the right to abortion like we had in California. Some of those measures were in very conservative states, and if even those ballots don't actually pass, it will show you that the issue of abortion actually played a more significant role than we thought initially, and maybe not as big of a deal as the economy, but at least bigger and better for the Democrats than we thought.
Kethevane, thanks very much. Kethevane Gorjestani, our correspondent, joining us there from Washington. Well, let's